Bruh. Tell me I didn't see what I just saw. Tell me I didn't see what I just saw. Please tell me I didn't see what I just saw. Yeah, it's cooked. It's cooked. It's over, bro. They're crazy. They are crazy. $2.4 million? $2.4 million?
In your $2 for million, that's the maximum salary WNBA owners put on the table. And the Players Association said, no, not let us think about it. Music, not we need to negotiate further. Just know, to put that in perspective, the current max salary in the WNBA is $250,000. The owners offered to multiply that by nearly 10 times within 5 years, and it still wasn't enough. So, we need to understand what actually happened in these negotiations because this decision could define the next decade of women's professional basketball.
To get into this, welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. Let's get right into things, man. So, we know that there was a three-hour-long meeting yesterday where the players thought the WNBA was going to give them some whopping offer, just a whopping of a deal. WNBA owners didn't offer them a damn thing. They told them to hit the bricks. Your main people didn't even show up. We'll get back to you.
Here's what makes this particularly significant. Everything the WNBA is offering right now exists because of one person's impact on ratings. When Caitlin Clark got injured last season, viewership dropped by 55%. Not 15%, not 25%, 55%. That's not a dip, that's a collapse. And yet, the Players Association is negotiating as if the league's growth is permanent and guaranteed rather than tied directly to specific star power that might not translate to the entire roster.
Adding to Alexa Phillipou's recap from yesterday, ESPN has obtained some information that was presented to players at yesterday's meeting, summarizing the WNBA's current positions. Let's get into it. Here it says, WNBA CBA proposal. The goal is a win-win for the CBA. Win-win CBA. Substantially increase player salaries to reflect recent and future business growth, promote business health and profitability, maintain incentives for team and league investment. So that third part, you can't maintain incentive for people to invest if you're not.
Mona Shelburne at ESPN obtained the actual documents that were presented to players at yesterday's meeting. And when you look at the salary projections, the owners weren't playing games. They laid out a clear path. Average salaries would jump from $120,000 in 2025 to $540,000 this season. If the deal was signed, not max salaries, average salaries. By 2031, the average player will be making $1 million annually. The maximum contract would start at $3 million immediately and scale up to $2 million. For $1 million by this isn't a minor bump. This is a complete restructuring of WNBA compensation.
I'm going to zoom in. All right now, this is where they at right now, right? Average player salaries, projected player salaries. Okay. Boom, in 2025, prior to the CBA, it was 120 grand, right? Then it would go 540 grand, 780 grand, $1 million, right? Okay. Now, this is the Supermax salary. Now, that's with the projections, and if they sign the new CBA, these are the average salaries. So you're looking at $540K for this season, getting up to $780K in 20.
But salary numbers are only part of what was on the table. The proposal included team charter fights for preseason, regular season, and postseason games, first-class travel in and out of team markets, 2 additional roster spots specifically for developmental players, which means second and third round draft picks wouldn't automatically get cut and forced overseas, increased salary cap exceptions for pregnant players, new team staff and requirements, including physicians, trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, physical music therapists, and access to nutritionists. The owners were addressing nearly every complaint the players' union had raised over the past 3 years.
What y'all think y'all worth 2.4 right now? This is crazy. This is crazy that the owners offered y'all a deal that 5 years from now, the max, y'all will be getting 2.4, possibly even more. Okay, y'all be getting 1.3 for this season on a max deal, an average salary of 540,000. They said no. 2031, the average salary will be $1 million. The average. Yeah, these ladies is Delulu. These ladies are Delulu, man. They've lost it, man. $2.4 million.
And they went even deeper. Higher team contributions to 401k retirement plans. Increased performance bonuses for awards and playoff advancement. Medical benefits continuation for players waived after the midpoint of the season, which currently doesn't exist. New requirements allowing young children of players and their caregivers to travel with the team with additional hotel rooms covered. Free WNBA League Pass for all players. Complimentary All-Star tickets. The elimination of marijuana testing and new treatment programs for substance issues. The ability to invest in and have endorsement deals with sports betting, fantasy, and cannabis companies. This wasn't just a salary negotiation. This was a comprehensive benefits overhaul.
Contracts, upward salary adjustments, which means they would make adjustments to the salaries that rookies are on so they could get more money. Like, it's a win around the board, man. It's a win around the board. Team charter travel, preseason, regular season, and postseason games, first class travel in and out of team market, higher annual salary, more allowable guaranteed contracts per team, additional categories of salary protection, 2 new development player rosters. So they were going to add 2 roster spots for development.
Now, here's where the players' union's position starts to fall apart. The owners explicitly stated their goal was to substantially increase player salaries while maintaining incentives for team and league investment. That third part is critical. You cannot maintain incentive for people to invest if the league isn't profitable. The WNBA has been operating in the red for most of its existence, subsidized by the NBA. The recent growth in revenue and viewership created an opportunity to actually become self-sustaining. But if the players demand a revenue split that pushes the league back into $700 million of debt, no investor is putting money into expansion teams. No owner is upgrading facilities. The whole CAC trajectory stalls out.
Physical therapists, access to nutritionists. I mean, listen, man, the WNBA players got to get real, man. These owners have made adjustments. They're looking to do things. The players are kind of like wacky, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. They very wacky for this, man. Higher team contributions to players, 401k retirement, increased performance bonuses for awards and playoff advancement. Additional funding for player programs, access to recently retired players, broader access to family planning benefits, medical benefits, continuation for players waived.
The players' union went into yesterday's meeting expecting the owners to cave. They thought 3 hours of face-to-face negotiation would result in a massive offer, something closer to what they've been demanding. Instead, the owners showed up, presented the same proposal that was already on the table, and essentially said, "This is it. Take it or leave it." The key decision makers from ownership didn't even attend. They sent representatives who had no authority to negotiate further. That's a power move. That's ownership saying, "We're not desperate. Here you are."
Alcohol abuse, elimination of marijuana testing, 50% of certain team fines donated to PA selected charity, ability to invest and have endorsement deals with sports betting, fantasy, and cannabis companies. I don't think we should do that. It's too much going on. It's too much going on with the gambling stuff. I don't think y'all should do that at all. I think that's a bad idea. The NBA is already trying to move away from a lot of these betting deals that they had because of all the stuff they got going on. Mobile medical record app for players, earlier first payment of annual salary, additional mental health resources, increased promotional and commercial appearance fees, new non-birthing parent leave policy. You ain't even the one pregnant. What do you got to leave for?
Let's talk about what the players are actually asking for, because the details matter. The union want a revenue-sharing model similar to the NBA, where players receive approximately 50% of basketball-related income. On the surface, That sounds fair. Equal partnership, equal split. But the NBA is a $75 billion business with generational wealth built over decades. The WNBA is still establishing its financial foundation. Applying the same revenue split to a league that's still building profitability is like asking a startup to pay salaries like Goop. The math doesn't work. And when you factor in that the recent revenue spike is directly tied to one player's drawing power, not league-wide popularity, the risk becomes even clearer. Here's what makes this significant. The owners aren't rejecting the concept of revenue sharing. They're rejecting the percentage and the timeline. They're saying we'll get there, but we need to build sustainable profitability first. And that's not unreasonable when you consider the actual financial picture. The WNBA's revenue jumped from approximately $300 million to over $2 billion in media rights deals. That sounds incredible until you break down where that money goes. Operating costs for 12 teams, facility rentals, travel expenses that are about to increase dramatically with charter flights, marketing and promotion budgets, league office operations, health and retirement benefits, and yes, player salaries. When you run those numbers, the owners are arguing that giving players a percentage they're demanding would put the league back in the red within 2 years. The players' union disputes this. They believe the owners are hiding profits or undervaluing the league's actual worth. And maybe there's some truth to that. Private businesses don't always open their books, music, completely. But here's the problem with that argument. If the league was secretly profitable, why would owners need to subsidize it through the NBA? Why would multiple WNBA franchises be valued at less than $50 million when NBA teams sell for billions? The financial reality doesn't support the union's position. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the Caitlin Clark factor. When she's playing, viewership spike. When she's injured or not in primetime slots, ratings crater. The Indiana Fever's games averaged 3 times the viewership of non-Fever games last season. That's not a slight against other players. That's just the data, and it creates a complicated situation for negotiation. The owners are essentially saying, we're offering you generational wealth based on growth that might not continue if the specific stars driving that growth leave, get injured, or retire. The players are saying, we deserve this money regardless of individual star power because we're the product. Both positions have merit, but only one is backed by financial sustainability. Think about what happens if the players get their demanded revenue split, and then Caitlin Clark suffers a career-ending injury next season. Or if she decides to take her talents overseas where she could make more money with less scrutiny. Or if the novelty of WNBA basketball wears off for casual fans who tuned in specifically for her, the revenue drops, but the salary commitments remain. The league goes back into massive debt. Expansion plans get canceled, teams fold. That's not speculation. That's basic business reality. The owners are trying to protect against that scenario by offering substantial increases tied to continued growth rather than guaranteed percentages that could bankrupt the league if growth stall. And the players' union is calling that greed. But is it greed to want your business to remain solvent? Is it greed to say, we'll pay you more as we make more, but we need to ensure we're actually making more first? Here's another angle that's not getting enough attention: the developmental roster spots. The owners offer to add 2 spots per team specifically for developing young players. That's 24 additional jobs across the league. Music. 24 players who currently get cut and have to go overseas would instead stay in the WNBA, practice with their teams, develop their skills, and potentially become rotation players. The union rejected that. They rejected the creation of 24 new jobs because the overall revenue split wasn't what they wanted. Think about what that says to the 2nd and 3rd round picks who are about to get cut in training camp. The charter flight situation is equally telling. Players have been demanding charter flights for years, citing safety, recovery, and competitive advantage. The owners agreed full charter flights for preseason, regular season, and postseason. That's a massive operational expense that will cost tens of millions annually. And the players' union said, not good enough. We want more money, too. At some point, you have to acknowledge when your demands are being met. Same with the benefits package. Music medical coverage extension, family travel accommodations, retirement contributions, mental health resources, nutritionist access, improved training staff requirements. These are real, tangible improvements to player welfare and career longevity. They're being dismissed because the salary numbers aren't high enough. But here's the thing. All of those benefits have monetary value. When you add up charter flights, extended medical coverage, family travel, and enhanced retirement contributions, that's easily another $100,000 per player in effective compensation. But it doesn't show up in the salary line, so it gets ignored. The marijuana testing elimination is particularly interesting. The owners agreed to stop testing for marijuana and create treatment programs for substance issues. That's a significant policy shift that players have wanted for years. It acknowledges that marijuana use shouldn't be treated the same as performance-enhancing drugs. It shows the owners are willing to evolve on social issues, and it got zero credit in the union's response. Now, let's talk about the timeline. The owners are projecting these salary increases over 6 years, reaching $4 million by the union wants that number now, or at least within 2 years. But rapid salary inflation without corresponding revenue growth is how businesses fail. The owners are saying we need to see sustained revenue increases before we commit to maximum salaries. That's not stalling. That's fiscal responsibility. And here's what nobody's discussing. What happens music to mid-tier and role players in the union's preferred mob. If you push maximum salaries to $4 or $5 million immediately, teams will have to allocate a larger percentage of their cap space to star players. That means less money available for the 6th through 12th players on the roster. You could end up a more extreme version of NBA salary distribution, where superstars make $40 million and role players make the minimum. Is that really better for the majority of union members? The owner's proposal actually creates a more balanced salary structure. Average salaries of $1 million means the middle-class players, the solid rotation pieces who aren't all stars, they're making real money. They're building wealth. They're not getting squeezed out by supermax contracts. But the union, leadership is focused on the top-line max number, not the overall distribution, and that might hurt their own members. So where does this leave us? The players' union has now rejected 2 proposals. The owners have made clear they're not negotiating music. Further, until the union comes back with realistic demands. The current collective bargaining agreement expires soon, which means we could be looking at a work stoppage, a lockout or strike, right when the WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth, would be catastrophic for the league's momentum. And here's the final piece that makes this so frustrating. The owners gave the players almost everything they asked for except the specific revenue percentage. Everything. Charter flights, medical benefits, family accommodations, music, developmental rosters, retirement contributions, facility improvements, staff requirements. They addressed every quality of life issue. They offered a more than quintuple maximum salaries over 6 years, and it was enough. At what point does a players' union have to acknowledge that their position isn't just ambitious, it's unrealistic? At what point do they recognize that killing the golden goose to get more eggs faster is bad strategy, because that's what's happening here? The WNBA has a chance to build sustainable generational growth, but it requires patience and partnership between players and owners. And right now the union is choosing confrontation over collaboration. So the question becomes, will the players' union reconsider before they force a work stoppage that damages everything they built? Or are we about to watch the WNBA squander its best opportunity for long-term success because the union overplayed its hand? Drop your take in the comments, because this decision is going to define the league for the next decade.